Welcome to this edition of the Wonderbury podcast.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dave.
And you can find us online at wonderbury.com.
I am D. Wonderly on Twitter.
Or I'm Brian Keysbury, anywhere the internet can be found.
You can leave us a comment on our website or one of the plethora of places that we check regularly. Check for the links in the description.
Yeah.
It's been too long, Brian. We need to start doing this more often.
Yes. I need to get some fiber up in the Wonderbury podcast so we can stay regular.
Yeah, right? We'll figure it out.
Yep.
This year's been the year of interesting changes and
hectic.
Hectic and busyness.
Yeah.
It's a good thing nothing ever happens in between these episodes, though, right?
Right? Yeah.
So, SpaceX launched a really cool satellite.
Yeah, the test.
The test is amazing.
I'm excited to see the first images come out of it.
Yeah, it's like the whole idea of its orbit and everything else is just really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Looking for exoplanets is a really cool thing.
Yeah, and it's a weirdly elliptical orbit instead of, mostly circular.
Be interesting to see, like you said, I'm really looking forward to seeing all the stuff coming from it. It's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm wondering how long it's going to be until we put one that's just in orbit around the sun and not around Earth.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not sure if they did something like that, how what the benefits of that would be versus having it orbit the Earth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of benefits, especially when looking for exoplanets, what the benefits of outside of Earth versus orbiting the sun would do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's going to be an awesome program as it continues and grows and images come back and the science and stuff that we'll be getting from it is going to be really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think so. So what else is new for you, Brian?
May have gotten hooked on a new game. It's called Space Flight Simulator. It's a Android game. It's very, very Kerbal Space Program like, just in its early stages. But I can play it on my phone.
Awesome.
First thing I did, I launched a satellite, and I was like, I bet I could attach another satellite to that. And so I did, and then all of a sudden I started building a Dyson sphere, and then my Dyson sphere is big enough that my game lags so bad that I can't hardly play. So, already broke it. 5 days in, I broke it.
That's never a bad thing, right? Breaking games?
Yep.
Are you turning in bug reports at least?
As I can. He's pretty active on Reddit, the developer is.
Oh, good.
So I try and screenshot things and describe things as they happen.
Yeah.
And there's apparently a handful of things that I've broken or already known, and they should be fixed in an upcoming update. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been continuing to play way too much PUBG.
Yeah, I know. I have a little notification that pops up whenever you open it in Steam. It pops up a lot.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of practicing, a lot of trying to sharpen my skills. There's a gaming group, very small competitive gaming group called the Goj Gaming, and I got invited and accepted to be one of the competitive gamers for PUBG.
Cool.
So we've been doing logging a lot of practice time in and stuff, and I'm thinking here in the next couple months or so we'll be doing our first tournament. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I really enjoy the game. Although I'm going to start branching out from there and doing other gaming stuff, both for Wonderbury Gaming, and then my daughter and I want to start a daddy-daughter does gaming thing. So Alice and I will be doing gaming together, and both recording and probably live streaming that as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. It'll be cool. Kind of looking forward to that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, life has just been absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of kids, I bought Dominic a bike,
Oh, nice.
and he was super excited. We got it home from the store, got him all set up, got him a Cars helmet, a little Lightning McQueen helmet,
Yep.
and we go out. We're going down the sidewalk, and I get him turned around. He's pedaling back towards the house, and I get my camera out and start filming. I get 4 seconds of video, and he wrecks. It was just, it was awful and amazing all at the same time.
Yep.
Just like catching it on video, and I'm running with my camera in my hands, and I see him wreck, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, okay, kid, pick up the kid, get the kid.
Training wheels, or did you guys start with no training wheels?
Yep, he has training wheels.
Yeah.
He can't even balance on his feet, man.
Well, to be fair, we also struggle with that at times too.
Yeah.
But there's usually an outside influence that deals with that.
Oh, mine's usually inside. Yeah, people that really know me, if they've been around me long enough, they'll see the times where the whole earth shifts under me and nobody else notices. That's a frequent thing.
Yep. Yeah, here it's just been found out my grandfather's got stage 4 lung cancer, so
Yeah,
yay,
he said
we get to
something
deal
about
with cancer again.
Get
They are giving
him
him about
again.
6 months to a year, I think is what they're giving him.
Jeez.
So he's going through chemo. He says it's helping his breathing a lot, and he can actually breathe again and breathe better. So
Hey.
hopefully he'll be all right with it all. But it's rough, man. I mean, the family has to go through it all again, and it's just, I feel bad for for the rest of my family, my aunts and uncles and stuff.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah, just doing it again.
yeah, family's kind of it's got to go through all that stuff all over again, and it's not the easiest thing to go through to begin with. But I believe in his mid 80s, and so he's it's not like he's real young, but
Yeah.
still doesn't make it easier to go through.
Yeah.
But life.
Yeah. That's life.
Screw cancer.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
did you read about Google's new messaging plan today?
Well,
I can't
okay.
help but laugh.
So
Very great.
it's not. And I was reading it just before we came on because I kind of want to talk about it. It's not a new
Not
app.
an app. No, not an app. It's a new plan.
It's not even a new plan. It is Google using its muscle to streamline an already existing service and force the carriers to use it.
Yep.
RCS is already being used in multiple plans in Canada, for example. So what it is it's pretty much SMS 3.0, I guess you could call it, because MMS was 2.0.
Yeah.
And so it's less of a new chat as it is a bringing in a new service and kind of building around
Adding
RCS as a
features.
service.
Yeah, adding more features to what's already there, so that we'll
So what Google's done then is it's halted development for Google Allo, or whatever it's freaking called. And they're moving the Allo team over to the messaging team for Android messaging or whatever that the default's used that way to start integrating. And they're taking the lead guy from Google Photos and putting him in charge of the project. So Android messaging is going to be getting quite the overhaul and updates to kind of bring RCS in, streamline the system. Apparently there's going to be a web version for SMS, MMS, and RCS all together. They'll be able to do it all from a web interface, apparently. Right now, Sprint already has the RCS features turned on. T-Mobile is not going to be very far behind it, and then who knows whenever AT&T and Verizon get on board. However, I don't think it'll take them very long because Android holds about 80% of the market share for cell phones.
Yep.
So when
I wonder if once Sprint and T-Mobile are both turned on, if Project Fi will get it pretty quick.
Oh, I'm sure, because all Project Fi is an MVVO or whatever it's called of Sprint and T-Mobile. Speaking of T-Mobile, they've got a new plan system coming out that's coming out in a couple days, actually.
Yeah.
And
I saw a
holy
bit of that.
cow, am I looking forward to this. So, T-Mobile is unveiling a new T-Mobile One military for active duty, reserve, veterans, and Gold Star families.
Mm-hmm.
And the savings on this stuff is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It takes 20% off of the first line and 50% of every line added on from there.
Dang.
So my already insanely cheap cell phone bill for as many lines as I have is about to get a heck of a lot cheaper. So for the unlimited everything, first line is at $55 for the first line, $25 for the second line, and $10 per line for the third through sixth. So family of 5, it's about $110 for unlimited everything for a family of 5. And that includes Netflix.
Yeah. Almost makes me want to switch back to T-Mobile.
Well, like I said, this is the military plan.
Yeah.
As of right now, I have me and the wife, 3 kids, a data plan for my daughter, and the OBS plug-in hotspot thing for my car, the sync up. And my bill is about almost right around $200. It's like $190 something. It's going to drop down to between $110, about $120. I figured with all the add-on stuff that I have, and then you add a little bit more because of device costs, because I'm financing 2 devices through T-Mobile or whatever. So it looks like my bill is going to drop to about $130, $140 a month.
Nice.
Which is absolutely wonderful. I will take $50 to $70 off of my phone bill. Pay it off. They're also going to be doing recruiting a whole bunch of veterans and spouses over the next 5 years. They pledge to recruit 10,000 veteran and spouses over the next 5 years.
That's awesome.
So yeah, no, T-Mobile, they're doing. That's a huge program and a really solid good program for them.
Yeah.
Which serves up just as they restart the talks with Sprint again. Because God knows that's a good idea.
Hopefully, something will finally work out there. Although I don't even know if T-Mobile needs it anymore. At that point, they're just buying frequencies.
Well, they're buying frequencies and they're buying tower space. Pretty much every place where T-Mobile does not get service, Sprint does.
There's a couple places where I've not had any service whatsoever.
But it's a lot less than it was. Well, and that's even true though. Is if they open up, there's different spectrums they're talking about opening up too, and it's we'll see what happens. But I've been on T-Mobile for 5 years, I think now.
Yeah.
And I've seen a massive difference between T-Mobile 5 years ago and T-Mobile now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely pretty stoked about the changes that they've been making and where they're kind of going as a company. I don't know if they necessarily need Sprint or not. I think Sprint needs T-Mobile way more than T-Mobile needs Sprint.
Yep.
So, but once again, I don't know how they're going to satisfy the regulatory bodies if they haven't been able to do it yet. And it also depends on who's running the show. If Sprint's going to end up running the show, hell no.
Yeah.
If T-Mobile's running the show, bring it on. But if they merge and Sprint runs that show, that's gonna be a nosedive and a half. It'll be bad. No offense to Sprint or their users, but no thank you.
Never had good customer service experiences with Sprint.
Yeah. And while I love the idea of Google Fi, I use way too much data and I have way too many people and a family plan to even fathom using them. I calculated out with what everybody uses, and it would be cheaper for me to go to a family plan of Verizon than it would be to go to Google Fi.
Well, they got their safety limit or whatever. No.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where
it's still cheaper on T-Mobile.
Yeah, I use on average 55 gigs of data a month, and that's just me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm on my Wi-Fi whenever I'm at home or whenever I have Wi-Fi access. I just consume a lot of media while I'm out and about and I'm doing stuff. And driving with Ship now, I'm constantly listening to a podcast or music while I'm going out and I'm doing this stuff, and it's just a constant stream in. And
I've gotten mostly good at picking a playlist and then downloading it ahead of time before a drive.
Yeah, but that takes up, when you start dropping in 5 and 6 hours of podcasts and music, that's a lot of space. And I got the 32 gig version, not the higher one. So, using my phone as much as I do...
256?
Yeah. I kind of wish I had done that. My next phone will definitely be a much larger capacity, because I'm constantly flirting right around that 28 to 30 gig spot.
Yeah.
You start downloading a bunch of music or a bunch of podcasts and stuff, and holy crap.
That's exactly why I went with the high-capacity phone, though, too, was I knew, being on Fi, I wanted to be able to download as much stuff as I could. Plus recording
for me,
videos and editing videos, I generally use up all of my capacity really fast, so it's like I need as much as possible.
I knew that I was going to be relying a lot more on, because I have the unlimited data that I would just rely on being able to stream. I mean, I'm a massive streamer that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's to each their own. It is what it is, but it's still. I cannot get the deals that I'm getting right now with T-Mobile, and it's just absolutely amazing and fun.
Yeah. Especially combining in Netflix.
Yeah, well, especially when you exactly when you start dropping in the Netflix thing.
Do you still get the MLB at bat service?
Yep.
Is that still?
I that was earlier this month. One of their Tuesday things. So yeah, I have got the MLB at bat this year again.
Nice.
Which means I get to watch all my Dodgers games again. Although I'm still focused on hockey, even though the Kings were eliminated from the playoffs in a sweeping fashion. I'm still paying attention to the hockey and all that stuff. Once hockey's over, then I'll pay attention to baseball.
Yep. It's still early. Still early in the baseball season.
So.
Did you see the new Google app?
Which one?
Let me see what it was called. It's a puzzle game. It's called Grasshopper.
I have not.
So it's like a puzzle game, but it teaches you how to code JavaScript.
Well, that's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it came out of part of the 20% time thing.
Yeah.
And seems pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Looks like a pretty neat way to. Like, I haven't even got to mess with it yet. I just found it not too long ago, but it looks like a pretty neat way to learn coding. You know, because it essentially that's how coding works. Is it's puzzles. Like, you have all these different pieces, and all these different pieces can be put into all sorts of different places. So, if you want to learn how to code some JavaScript, search for
That's
Grasshopper.
absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been efforts to use Minecraft to teach kids how to code and stuff. That's a really cool idea too.
Yeah.
Minecraft
there's
plugins and stuff.
There's a whole education edition just for that purpose, to teach kids how to code and things. I haven't gotten into that other than just like reading about it, but definitely want to check that out sometime.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of really. I'm glad that there's a huge push to teach kids and even adults how to code. It's a very important, very needed area.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been switching gears in my coding and focusing a lot harder on Python and big data management and analytics and stuff lately.
Nice.
So I've got some ideas that are kind of brewing up that would come from a result of that, which would be kind of really awesome to do.
I'm still stuck in doing like CSS and
CSS. You remember those old window blinds before they combined the three strings together and you'd pull them independently? That's CSS.
Yep.
Is pulling those independently and trying to get the window blinds to rise all at once.
Yep.
Yeah, that's in a nutshell.
It's slowly getting better.
Yeah, it is. It's one part getting better and one part getting more convoluted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Web development is definitely
awful.
It's an exercise of explaining the phrase just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And that is web development in 2018.
I still do that a lot. Like when I do a development and somebody will give me their idea, and I'm like, have you ever heard of GeoCities? Like, that's the first thing I want to ask them. Like, where were you in 1998? Like, your idea would have been perfect.
Yep, I was arguing the benefits or the pros and cons of GeoCities versus Angel Fire. That's what I was doing in '98.
Yep. Yeah. So
trying to figure out how to utilize JavaScript to hijack my MySpace profile. So
if you do web stuff, keep it minimal because Google does not like flashy crap all over your website, and they will punish you.
Yeah. Well, unless you absolutely need it, keep things as minimalistic as possible. You know, utilize a lot of the other stuff that's there for you. There's a reason why WordPress powers 80% of the web.
Yeah.
Because it works. Is it clunky? Works. Sure. Is it as secure as something else? No.
Nope.
Is it the newest thing out there? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Is it written in the abomination that's known as JavaScript? Or PHP, rather? Yes.
Yep.
But, it is what it is.
Yeah, and it works. And there's a ton of support. Anything you want to do on WordPress, you can click on the apps. Is that what it's called? Or whatever. Apps or whatever. Type in whatever crazy idea you want to do with your site, and I bet you somebody has already done it and built an app that will do it for you.
Yep. And not only have they done it, but they've done it and they have it. They've been doing it long enough that there is a backing for it.
Yep.
It's what happens when open source works the right way.
Yeah. This is the same way I feel about Shopify now too. Is Shopify is doing for shopping cart systems what WordPress did for blog systems. And it's just the sheer amount of integrations you can do with it and getting stuff set up is amazing, and it's so simple and easy to use. I had one set up and clocked 10 hours of time.
You know what you can do with Shopify, right? You can embed the Shopify code in your WordPress site, and you can combine them.
Yep. You can go either way. You can embed your WordPress into Shopify.
Yeah, you could definitely go either way.
Yep. Shopify does also have its own built-in blog service too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do and the ease that you can do stuff that, having grown up in the 90s as a web developer in the 90s, we didn't... There were tools, like WYSIWYG tools out there. Dreamweaver was just kind of kicking off. Netscape Composer was the first thing that I used. But
I used Dreamweaver like 2 times, and I hated it because
it added so much crap code.
Yeah, I knew all of the code, and it was quicker for me to type, like literally type a website up like a novel than it was to use Dreamscape and try and plan it out.
Well, and that's I used Composer for a while until I kind of learned the code stuff, and I used Dreamweaver for a bit until I couldn't get updated versions of it, and then I went back to Notepad, and I used Notepad for years. It's kind of amazing how bad that is to say now, but
no, because I still use it. I had it open earlier today working on.
I refuse to use Notepad anymore. It has no redeeming qualities for web development anymore.
Meh.
I will use like Atom or
I use
anything else that I can have that has the shortcuts built in. Auto completion shortcuts are the most amazing things ever.
Nice.
And anything to tell me what line of code something is on. Because there's nothing more frustrating than editing a notepad and you get a syntax error in line 278 and you have no clue where to start.
Yep. Check out Shift Edit too. You can write code in a Google document and it will display it as a code editor.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Which was super handy back when Google had their web hosting built right into Drive. I was literally building websites in a Drive folder using Shift Edit, and I could do it like on my phone while mobile, building websites and having them launch while like sitting at the park waiting on the ingress timers to cool down.
So brackets is one that I've been playing with lately. And the nice thing about brackets is it's kind of an open source code like web editor that works with Adobe. Mm-hmm. And there's a really cool crossover, and I haven't played with it in a little while to test it since I've gotten my Adobe suite yet. But you can plug in you can build like a website proof in Illustrator or in Adobe. You could import it into brackets, and you can chop it to the point where it will automatically write in all of the CSS to maintain the stylized layout based upon a Illustrator or an InDesign or a PDF.
Nice.
Which is phenomenal and a half. And it's just also a really, really nice looking and nice feeling editor as well.
Yeah.
So that helps. So Facebook got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. Meh. They'll walk away and nobody'll think about it again.
I don't think so. I think that this is going to set off a trigger of deeper regulation of what companies can and cannot do with data.
I think the next one will. It's not like as many people as know what happened. Like the majority of people just have no clue what's going on and don't care.
They don't. But the noise is loud enough. I mean, there has been, and the only reason why I think that there will be something done is because of how much time Zuck sat in front of Congress and the committees, and just the,
looking like a pre-programmed little robot.
I'm not going to go that far because, I'm not going to make fun of someone because they're horribly antisocial and they've been dragged before a body of... Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that I don't believe that Facebook did anything wrong. And that's going to be a very, very unpopular opinion. I think that it's 2018 and consumers need to stop. It's 2018. You can no longer use ignorance of what companies are doing with your data as an excuse for anything except for extreme laziness and apathy on the part of the user. This isn't new technology. This isn't something that just showed up over the blue. This is something, if you did not know that your data was being sold, then you have actively tried to remain ignorant of what's going on. Facebook, while their EULA is very convoluted and very out there, and it's not very good for layman's terms, which I think is we're going to start seeing EULAs requiring to have a non-lawyer version or a more layman's version of a Cliff Note system for them.
Yeah.
But, these people, and just saying you agreed to it, you should have known, well, that's one thing. But if you're putting out this information that you don't want out there, I'm sorry, it doesn't flow that way. If a service is free, you're the commodity. And it's 2018. This isn't 2001. This isn't 1998. There is no excuse on the face of the earth that can excuse people's ignorance of this.
Yeah.
If you install an app on your phone and it pops up a list of things that you are expressly giving permission for that app to do, and you have to scroll through the list and click authorize, and on that list is monitor text messages and phone calls, you've given up the right to act shocked that the app was monitoring your telephone calls and your text messages. You expressly went out of your way to scroll past it, and that's not some convoluted 3,000 word EULA either. That's on a single screen. And they've even gone even more simple, where each individual thing now pops up that you have to agree to.
Yeah.
So forgive me for not rushing to the aid of people willfully remaining stupid, because I'm not standing for that. This is my soapbox I am freaking pissed about. Do I agree with what they're, the sale of the data and where it's being used? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't... Oh, and the other half of this, and where all this stuff came from, was not from Facebook itself. It was from these extra little app things that people use, like Friendstar or whatever that one was that got deleted because that's what Cambridge, was using. Cambridge Atlantica. So not only did you agree to all this with Facebook, but now you're adding in, now you are going out of your way to add a third party and giving the third party access to your profile, to your friends list, to all of your data. You are now doing it, not Facebook, doing this third party crap. And shocked that the third party has access to your data, that you have gone out of your way to add that and authorized a second time for people to take your data.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have zero sympathy for people that do that.
That's part of the kerfluffle is people are wondering, like, why Facebook was allowing third parties to even have access to the amount of data that they were able to get. Like,
because Facebook says in its EULA that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Data is the most expensive and the most profitable commodity in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
The most profitable commodity is data. Any kind of data.
Any.
Because what you can do with that stuff is absolutely asinely insane.
Anything.
There was one that was running through a few months ago, like right before it was right after or right before the election. It's one of these little add-on things where it was saying, can we look at through your history and guess if you're conservative, moderate, liberal, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever. And the damn thing was pretty accurate, but all these people were like sharing it and giving it access. And then these same people are shocked that Facebook knows this shit about them. The hell? You want to be upset about data getting out? Go rip into the credit monitoring services.
Yeah. Equifax.
They had data breaches Mind you, their data breaches gave out information that can actually be used for identity theft. Facebook shit is just stuff you've put out there.
Yeah.
Facebook is also something that you have to go out of your way to sign up for. You cannot opt out of credit monitoring services. Credit
monitoring services just do their thing, whether you allow them to or not.
The number from the latest breach that was at like 40 million.
Yeah.
For some reason, they got away with being able to start small in their estimations and then grow them. I think the last number I saw there was 120 million people had their stuff stolen.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something you can opt in and out of.
Yeah.
And while Congress will drag Facebook through the mud and into Congress, you know what their response to that hack was? Making it illegal for you and I to sue them for misuse of our stuff.
Yep.
They're not getting dragged before Congress. There's going to be the thing that happened to them was they were like, "Oh, wow, you had a security breach. All this stuff got stolen. How about less regulation to help you along?"
Yeah.
It's absolute.
Let's stop the fire from spreading.
Sorry, I'm now getting down off that hive there for a minute. It pisses me off. You know, people expect a certain level of privacy in their online stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they refuse. The same people that expect the privacy are the ones that will refuse to allow it to be regulated.
Yeah.
You want that kind of tight privacy? Then we need to regulate it. We need to go to a European or even further than an EU style of regulation. I am not opposed to this idea, by the way. Any data you put online is being used. The only question that you have to answer for yourself is, do you trust the company that you are giving your data to? This is why I don't do a lot of those extra things on Facebook. I keep Facebook pretty much just rambling rantings of myself and flipping pictures.
That's pretty much why I don't Facebook at all.
I do, because I've got military friends. I have family members that are only on Facebook, and I've got to kind of maintain that because I'm not setting up an email mailing list. I'm not doing that. I could, but I'm not anymore. Like I deleted Facebook off my phone, not because of privacy issues, but because it's a poorly written app that sucks battery life like a.
I keep telling that too.
What I do now is I have my Instagram, my Facebook accounts linked. I share a photo to Instagram. While I'm going through Instagram, I have it automatically share to Facebook, and then Buffer automatically goes, "Hey, he posted something on Instagram," and shares it over to Twitter. So all I have to do is take a picture, throw it at Instagram, and instantly it goes out to every place that I post things. Which is awesome. It's a great little service. You know, you connect. I think it gives you 2 services connected for free. Any more than that, you got to pay $10 a month. It's great. You can schedule all sorts of stuff through it. I will go into Buffer at a later time, but that's what I use Facebook for. I trust Google more than I trust Facebook, which is why I'm deep in the Google ecosystem.
Yep.
You know, the people that have iPhones and they trust Apple with all their stuff, they give the same amount or more data to Apple, but they trust them. Yep. Now, I'm under zero illusions that my data that I'm giving to Google is not being used for advertisement purposes, for all this other stuff. Yep. I also understand how this works. People freak out when they're getting emails back and forth, and suddenly their ad services are reflecting content of emails, and they instantly freak out that Google is reading their emails. Google Humans are not reading your emails. Humans are not reading anything about you. A crawler service is extracting data and putting together data profiles to feed back to you. There's way too much information coming in for Google to have an employee reading in emails. It's asininely stupid and crazy, and probably illegal. But
Yes.
yeah, that's my soapbox for online privacy and Facebook. If you have a problem with it, or you were surprised by it, shame on you for being a stupid, ignorant person in 2018, and knock it off. Spend 25 minutes on YouTube, educate yourself about the internet, and stop it.
Yeah. So, way back when I first started using, well, it was probably long after, but there was, people were starting to freak out, like, oh, Google's monitoring stuff, so it can change your ads. And I was like, well, that seems weird, like, but then I noticed that I was seeing less ads for things that weren't relevant to me, and I was seeing like advertisements that were more suited towards me. It's like I don't need advertisements for bras. That's not something I'm not gonna click on. I'm not gonna buy them. It's more specific targeting that way, and once I realized that, I'm like, huh, well now I'm actually seeing stuff that I may actually want to buy, which is actually more handy for me because that's I don't always see things because I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, advertising is not evil. Advertising is not bad. Ad services can be amazing. I've come across many things because of ads before. I have discovered tons of services. Heck, there's a lot of chocolate bars have stopped putting hazelnut in chocolate bars lately because of the cost of being able to do it. My wife absolutely loves hazelnut and chocolate. So I'm watching God knows what on Hulu, and an ad comes up for this chocolate bar that's got a hazelnut in it, or there's little chocolate pieces with a hazelnut in it, called Toffee or whatever it's called. So I went out and got it for her. It's like her favorite candy now. Advertising. I would have never known. I don't go down the candy aisle. I'm mildly allergic to chocolate, and I don't eat sugar.
Yeah,
why am I going down a chocolate aisle? I would have never have known about it.
I found Wisecam because of an ad. And I am extremely impressed with their camera so far. They need some more integrations, but they said that stuff's coming.
Yeah.
Like the IFTTT and Stringify, they're working on getting those put together.
Oh, awesome.
But the camera, for a $20 camera, a $20 security camera, the things you can do and as good as it looks. Like I shared a screenshot of the app in our chat. Did you see that?
I did, yeah. It looks really nice.
Yeah. And like just the stuff I'm able to do and being able to set motion triggers that rely on me being home or not, and being able to share that so I can set it up so if Christy's home but I'm not, it doesn't use the motion, or if I'm home and she's not, it doesn't. But then when we're both gone, it does use the motion.
Yeah.
So, and it's a $20 camera, and it's cloud storage is free.
Send me the link for those.
Okay. WYZECAM.
All right. Yeah, we'll put a link to that. We'll put a link to those things down in the description too. We'll give some free advertising.
Yeah. They need it. They're doing good stuff.
Good. There's a lot of these companies. With these new tariffs that are coming in, I'm a little worried that a lot of these smaller companies are going to start becoming a lot more expensive. There was the new tariff list that was just released, and it's
expensive.
I don't know. It's extraordinarily extensive, and I don't know what's going on. I hope you don't like epinephrine. I hope you don't like generic drugs, because that stuff is getting tariffed out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of... I just don't understand it. I don't understand why we're doing it. I mean, that... I don't want to get very political here, but this is just stupid.
Yeah. I know the steel tariffs were going to be bad enough, but...
I get the role that tariffs play, and I get the role that a trade war could play. You don't do it when the economy is some of the best economy that we've had, period. Mm-hmm. You don't intentionally create unrest, instability, and a hostile system to basic things like manufacturing.
Yeah.
They're claiming that it will encourage manufacturing to come back to the United States. But at what cost? We don't have the factories to bring all that back in.
We don't have the structure.
We don't have the structure, and okay, we can build them. With what? U.S. steel? We don't manufacture enough U.S. steel to maintain our current steel usage, let alone adding a whole bunch more. You're shooting yourself in both feet and then blowing your nose off because it might work out. Because every time that we install tariffs, then they flip around and do the same thing. And the cost doesn't get levied against them. They just jack the prices up to match, and the cost gets levied to us.
Yeah.
They might as well be taxing us whatever percentage the tariffs are. Just add it as a national sales tax on top of the state sales taxes. Why not?
It's going to be, if they're trying to spur manufacturing, it's not going to work. The cost of that's going to go up enough that it's going to be easier to just automate everything.
People will talk about, we can't make minimum wage $15 an hour because then the cost of Big Mac will be $8. Well, what happens when you churn out the cost of a worker from $2 a week to $10 an hour? What do you think the cost of goods is going to do after that?
Yeah.
Stay stagnant? No.
Well, what's McDonald's doing though? They're not raising prices on anything. They're eliminating all that cost. They're eliminating people. You can order on your app and pick it up at the drive-thru. They're eliminating the cooks and the burger flippers. When I was in San Francisco, they've got the order kiosks. You walk up to this giant kiosk, you place your order, you swipe your card, they call out a number, and you go pick up your food. Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. I got to cut out an entire human interaction that I didn't want to have.
Yeah, you just eliminated $15 an hour.
Yeah.
How much did that kiosk make an hour?
Exactly. And automation's not a bad thing, people.
No.
All it does is take low-income jobs, turns them over to machines, and frees up people to do more things to help better the mankind, to help better yourself, and to help better everyone around you. It's not some giant conspiracy to eliminate humans.
That's what you think. Says the guy who wants to be the cyborg, but before it's all over.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm done with rantings now. I'm done ranting.
As I slowly replace body parts with robotic body parts, and I'm like, maybe we don't need the humans anymore. Maybe we're done with you. Maybe we're done.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. All right, brother. I think that does about an hour here. I'm I'm ranted out now.
Yep. So
I'm going to apologize ahead of time just in case everything is screwed up on my end. I've moved my office to a basement, so I have a whole new recording space. And this is the first time we're using it. So hopefully it's not completely jacked up. And if it is, I'm sorry.
we'll get it worked out.
Oh, yeah. But till next time, hopefully, which will be in 2 weeks. I want to get back to another once every 2 weeks instead of once a month schedule. But hopefully in a couple weeks we'll have another one pumped out. I think we're averaging one a month right now, so we're not doing good. But till next time, guys.
Later.